My name is Constantine Manos. I was born in Columbia, South Carolina. You know, I've been in Leica Society, remember, as long as I can remember. I honestly asked myself that question a couple of days ago, because here I am. First of all, it's very important to me that there always be people in my pictures, and that they be doing what they do naturally. And I'm just in the background watching them and pushing the button at the right time. And that's what I call the magic moment. Okay, so here's a little paragraph or two from my preface to my first color book. By choosing a precise intersection between the subject and the moment, he may transform the ordinary into the extraordinary and the real into the surreal. Okay, so that's the magic moment. And the magic moment only happened once, never happened before, and will never happen again. And that is what's so special about the magic moment, you know. And the magic moment has depth with people. I mean, if you photograph birds or animals in Africa, it doesn't have the same depth and interest that it does with people, because every person is a unique creation. There are no two faces probably in the world that look alike, you know, and no two bodies that look alike. You know, every human being is different from every other human being. It's a remarkable, it's like fingerprints. You have to think. You have to have ideas. You have to think a lot about what kind of pictures you want to take, what you want your pictures to look like, you know. You know what you're looking for, and you see it, and you recognize it when you see it. But you have to know what you're looking for in order to find it. If you don't know what you're looking for, you'll never find it. So I'm looking for a certain kind of picture, you know, that I like, that answers, it fills all the needs of a successful picture to me, you know. A successful picture to me is a surprise. It is something that no one has seen before and will never see again. That photographers, first thing they need to do is think a lot, Ideas, you know, every good things come from ideas. And think about what they want their pictures to look like. What are they trying to say, you know? Well, the second thing is to learn to practice so much that they know they can do this instinctively. And you know, and you have to be able to get within 10, 12 feet of people and for them not to even know that you're there. They have to think you're photographing something else that you're not interested in. So it takes a lot of kind of patience and tricks. I think photography is and always will be, excellent photography will be always difficult, you know. And so, you know, my favorite new thing is that I tell my students is, you know, any fool can take a picture. Why don't you try playing the violin? You know, those musicians I have great respect, because they spend years and years and years just studying and practicing in order to get a job in an orchestra or to be a soloist. I mean, but photography has become, in a way, it's suffering from the fact that it's become too easy to take a picture instead of making a picture. So, you know, basically, I have this sort of set of you know, kind of rules, and also I have this set of rules about, you know, the perfect rectangle, which is a 2:3 proportion, which is, you know, a beautiful proportion, and how people, every inch counts. Every inch counts. Aside from the plane, you know, there is the pyramid, all right? And this is because a camera has the ability to take a picture using the lenses and the f-stops and what's called depth of field to photograph within a pyramid, so that You have something at 3 feet, you have something at 8 feet, you have something at 10 feet, you have something at 12 feet, and it's all sharp. We're at a park, and an old lady and her husband are sitting on a bench, and there's a lady coming down the path pushing a baby carriage. There are these little boys jumping in the air, kicking a ball. There's some pigeons in the tree. And at a certain moment, the lady with the baby, now these people, the old couple are about maybe 4 feet away from the camera, okay? And then everything else is relatively distant, you know, and within that pyramid. So at a certain moment, the lady with the baby carriage comes down the path. The old man leans over and kisses his wife on the cheek, and the little boys are in the air with the ball, and the pigeons take off. And the lady with the baby carriage lifts the baby out of the carriage and holds it in the air, and you go click. Okay, so that is a decisive moment. That is a magical moment because people, the human race, they love to see moments like that, you know, that are kind of breathtaking. Okay, so that's, and you have to be very, very skillful and patient, and you have a lot of misses and a few successes. It's hard. It's very difficult. So that sort of is it, you know, in a few little drawings that I did for my class. Well, first of all, I never make eye contact. Okay. Secondly, I come in very slowly and gently into a situation, and I kind of look around from a distance. I see a situation developing. Let's say, like I showed you, the couple on the bench and the lady coming into the picture, into the park with the baby carriage and all of that. And I say, now, I want to be in the right position at the right moment. So I pretend I'm photographing the church over there and the trees and so forth. Meanwhile, you know, and the nice thing about the Leica is that you can be looking through the viewfinder with your right eye, and then you can be watching the whole scene with your left eye so that you know when to get into the right position to be there when you go click, click, click. It all started with the Leica, you know, and the Leica still, it's a unique camera in that you're looking through a window. And with all of these other cameras, you're looking through an electronic viewfinder, or you're looking through a mirror that bounces up and down, you know, and this is looking through a window. And you couldn't ask for anything better than looking through a window. You know, it's just a little piece of glass between you and the image. So, and the Leica has, that's what it has going for it, you know, since the beginning. The Leica is more than a camera. It is a way of life. That's the thought. It's like you get so involved with it, you know, and it's such a unique instrument that it's more than just a camera, you know. It's a kind of a way of life. It's a very personal thing, you know. It's I think because it's not over mechanized. In other words, you still have to do certain things with this camera. You have to set the shutter speed, you know, and you have to, and it's not autofocus, you know. Now I think maybe the new smaller camera that's not an M camera is autofocus. There's maybe one. But these cameras, you have to use them. You have to know how to use them, you know, and how to be sensitive to them, you know, because they're just, they don't do everything automatically, which is often, that's when people get the mistake, because the camera does something automatic at the wrong time, you know. So you know, they're just a long list of great photographers who have used this camera, and it, you know, it's limited. It can't shoot 500 pictures at a football game of a guy in the middle of the field, you know. So because it's specialized, it's limited to making images that are true to life, that are poetic. You know, I really think, I like to think that a beautiful picture is like a poem, And you know, a great, perfect poem, if you take one word out of it, you destroy it, because it's a perfect thing. So I tell my students, try to go out and collect poems, you know, and sometimes when people say, well, you know, I don't know what to photograph, I say, well, just wander around and respond to moments where there are people gathered, you know, and go to places where people gather, like, and you know, there's a lot of talk about street photography. Well, I prefer to call it the public domain, which means you can go to a state fair, you can go to the beginning of a parade when people are gathering for that, and it's all all nothing but raw material for you to make a poem, to put things together, you know, so that you have a picture that people will remember. Very difficult. You know, they will put it in their memory bank, and it will stay there.